Let's get loaded on Lansdowne.
All right. It's a big boy.
Yeah. This is Fall River's finest. This is the Suppa IPA.
Oh.
From Canned Heat, which is a great brewery. All right, so welcome to episode 95 of the Loaded on Lansdowne Red Sox Baseball Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Jacaris. Alongside me always is Andrew Andrews. And,
there we go.
And this is the Back to Earth episend.
Oh, we couldn't have done this 2 days ago.
You know,
if we do this podcast 2 days ago, we're planning out the duck boat trip.
Yep. So Red Sox just get swept in a doubleheader. Everyone was feeling great about themselves. They had a good victory yesterday, where they won 7-4 against the Chicago White Sox, and they got beat today. I mean, I wouldn't say they got their asses kicked. I wouldn't say it was a disaster, but there was a little bit of sloppy play. There was especially in that second game. I watched more of the second game than I did in the first game. It was a couple of sloppy plays, and it's just kind of like, meh. But they're starting to get exposed a little bit, and I think some of the fears that we had going into the season are starting to rear their ugly heads. I mean, mainly the starting pitching, especially when you're looking at a doubleheader, right? That first game, it was 3-2, and you got gypped 2 innings. So I mean, do you like the 7-inning game? Is it pissing you off? I mean, what do you got?
I'm so wishy-washy. It's gonna be so lame the way for me, like yes and no. And I know I'm not taking a stance here, but it's if they're gonna do 7 innings, do it for every game. The idea that you're gonna at the end of the year, some of the games are 7 innings, some of the games are 9 innings. That just and I get the argument could be, well, rain delays can make the game shorter. That happens like once a year, maybe, for a team. There's plenty of teams who that does not happen at all. They play 182 9-inning games.
Right, exactly.
9 or more. So,
by the way, can I interject for a second?
Please.
Last week, when they played the Twins.
Yes.
Right? And it was like a literal blizzard. Right? And we've talked about this before, and I don't give a shit. We're going to talk about it again. If you're building a new stadium, it has to be a retractable roof. How the
especially if you're building it in the fucking tundra.
How the F can the Twins, who went from the Metrodome into they're like, we're going to build a new stadium and it's not going to be a retractable roof stadium? That is like, that's insanity, right? Like, that's not.
I mean, you might as well build it in like Fairbanks, Alaska. I mean, it's just.
Like the Gnome Twins playing. It's July 4th. It's snowing. Awful. I just
like movies about the horrible weather have been made about that area. You know what I mean? Like it's the weather of Minnesota, Dakota it's like a character in those movies,
right?
And
you're right. The weather is actually a character.
Yeah, and we're just gonna let it be.
Everyone's like, oh God, I'm so freaking cold. It's like
their football team put a roof on. Their football team went, dude, fuck this. Stop it. No.
I know it doesn't make any sense. All right, I'm sorry. Keep going. So, do you even remember your train of thought after that? I don't even know.
This was your train of thought.
No, seriously, go ahead.
Where the Red Sox are right now, it's the 7-inning game thing. It's I just don't like the idea that some of your games are going to be 7, some of them are going to be 9. It seems very little league. It seems it's college. You know what I mean? Do one or the other, man. It's just teams are set up to play either 9-inning games or they're set up to play 7-inning games. And listen, I'm open to the discussion of let's make them all 7. I really am.
Right.
Because it's just too long and we need to make it shorter. And then if you do that, now the 4-inning starter becomes a real thing and blah, blah, blah. So yep. I'm open to the discussion. But the idea that they're going to do it all seems like this just goes back to the owners didn't even really want to play a full schedule.
Right. Well, so, I was listening to the radio sort of in between games today, and it was Rob Bradford and Steve Peralt were talking about this. And, they were kind of talking about one or the other. And we've discussed this on this podcast. I mean, going back to the beginnings of our podcast 3 years ago, like I'm all for the 7-inning game. Like if you want to quicken, up the game, just make it 7 innings, just cut off 2 innings. But again, and Steve and Rob Bradford discussed it, that you're losing jobs. So you're losing middle relievers and everything else. So the union will never go for it. I don't know if the owners would go for it because the owners only sell beer.
I was gonna say that's
7 innings, right?
I think right now they're fine with it because there's so few people in the stadium. They're really not selling that much. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think they'd rather get the people out of there.
Right.
They've made their TV deal, so they've got their chunk for that TV game, and let's get the next one going.
Yeah, but even it's funny because even though the Red Sox in that first game they lost 3-2, I didn't even care. I was like, people on Twitter were like, well, if there's 2 more innings, we could have won that game. I'm like, yeah, but there wasn't. And
but you didn't. No, that's no get hit. That's like saying losses in April don't mean anything. You know what I mean? No, when you miss the playoffs by 1 game, that game you lost on April 13th. That's a real game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought last night's game was way more important than these 2 games. I thought the way they bounced back after you get the 9-game straight win, they lose. Yep. They lose a game kind of tough. It looked like they were what would have been 10 in a row. They lose, and then for them to come back and get a win they had the rain out, but then for them to come back and get a win in the next game, I thought that was a way more important game because
and
that we're going to live in a world where they're not winning 9, but Red Sox win 5, they lose 5, they win 6, they lose 4. I mean, I thought I really don't want to live in that world, man.
No, it's true, but to your point, Marwin Gonzalez, yesterday, huge home run, fly ball at deep center field. Basically
that ball just kept traveling. He didn't think it went out. He said when he didn't think he got a hold of it.
Yep. And then you look where it landed and you kind of can't believe it. But I mean, that was a great
on a chilly night. That was yeah.
Yep. That was great. And I agree with you. I think coming out of the gate, yesterday's win, kind of a comeback win a little bit. And, today sucked. I mean, losing a doubleheader is never fun. But, down little bit more down to earth for the Red Sox. It's funny, Andy, I got before today. Okay. And we've talked about this a little bit. All right. I don't know how many texts I got from people that were like, are the Red Sox good? Question mark. We texted together and we did that.
We talked about it, and I was
other people who aren't even in my circle who know that I love the Red Sox, and they're coming out of the woodwork.
No, people were starting to talk when they hit 6 in a row, 7 in a row. People were starting to talk a little bit. There was a little bit of excitement. Personally, and I told you about this. I felt like the Red Sox were that pitcher kind of almost at the time throwing the no-hitter. I didn't want to really talk about it too much. Right. I wanted to kind of ride it as far as we could. So borderline almost kind of a little bit of a relief when they finally do lose a game. So it's like, okay, now I can enjoy things. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's but it was good. They really needed that, man. Oh, did they need that? Making Cora look like the loser team whisperer, you know?
Yeah. No, absolutely. And you know, to your point with the Cora thing, Bradford and Peralt were talking about it today, and they were saying they were talking about the difference between John Farrell,
yep,
and Alex Cora, and you know, Farrell was the best guy at the time for the 2013 Red Sox after doing the whole Bobby Valentine thing, but
that was a team with a lot of older guys. It was a team
right, veteran guys, and he loves veteran guys.
That was so definitely a different scene.
You know,
when they tried to bring in the younger guys with him, it just
he was like, no. He was like just squashing it, and the younger guys felt like they couldn't talk to him. Like you had to be a 10-year vet. You had to have something to prove. You had to be a Shane Victory. Yeah. You had to be, a Mike Napoli to be able to talk to Johnny Farrell, Johnny Squarejaw. And, you know, these younger guys weren't able to do that, you know, like the Benintendies and the Betts of the world. They couldn't do it really.
Yeah.
You know, when they carried over. So, that's interesting.
So Cora seems to really connect with his team very well. I think it's less about day-to-day coaching as ever, you know, and I think that's across baseball. And I think the Red Sox, more than most teams, have embraced the fact that it's really not about day-to-day coaching. It's about the Carmen computer plan from the beginning. And just so, and Cora seems to embrace that, and Bloom seems to embrace that. So I guess if you're going to do it, you might as well have everybody on board for doing it. And it seems like this is the first time they've had that, because you've always had like Dombrowski was, well, even if you go way back to like, you know, Theo and what's his face from, he's in Cleveland now. Theo and Francona's, you know, numbers guy, old school kind of feel for the game. Same deal with Farrell. And then Dombrowski's in, so you got someone who's, you know, the team seems
been there for a while. Yep.
The team seems to want to, but so this seems to be where you got maybe both together the way. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I think for this White Sox series at first, and you know, I forgot to mention this early on. I'd like to thank friend of the show and podcast guru Terry Cushman for having me on. But we kind of talked about it, and
what's the name of the podcast?
Bastards of Boston Baseball.
Oh, and that can be found where?
That can be found on Twitter, and excuse me. That can be found on
hell of a plug you got going on here.
Spotify and
Apple
and all of them. Yeah, but I said Twitter because you know Cushman's a Twitter maniac.
Oh, he does well on that. Yep.
But we kind of talked about this. It's like, what do you think about Tanner Houck? Is he a guy? I mean,
yeah,
he's just kind of like.
I was gonna bring that up again.
Spot starts. I mean, like what's going on?
Who was the pitcher everyone had the hard on for? Now it's almost 10 years ago now. Henry, right?
Henry Owens. Yep.
Yeah, it's got a little Henry Owens feel to him. Everyone keeps telling me how good Tanner Houck is. And I'm not saying I expect him to be a Major League Baseball player, but right now, I don't expect him to be completely ready, perfect professional. But he doesn't seem like a young kid who just wants to come up and like really just like throw gas and challenge. You know what I mean? He seems very timid. He seems like he's nibbling at the plate. He's throwing a lot of pitches, and we'll see.
Yeah, and he didn't seem like that last year.
No,
right? When he came up and he was just like, let's go.
No, the team was 37 games out of first place.
Right. So no pressure.
It was, in a COVID, it was kind of like throwing in AAA. Yeah, you know what I mean? There was no one in the stands. There was whatever. There's no yeah, maybe it's the way that they're handling him. I don't know how much control he has over what he's actually throwing and what the decisions are there. But it seems like I'd like a young rookie who I'd rather have someone who's getting just pounded because he's challenging people as opposed to someone who's doing and only throwing 3 innings. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you only 3 runs. That's not terrible. It was only 3 runs.
Right. Well, here's the thing too, and that's a great kind of segue into some things here. It's like when the Red Sox are losing, like they're never getting their like asses kicked. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they're kind of in every game. You saw it the other day when Verdugo hit that 3-run double, right? To tie the game. And you just see that fight in them. I mean, they just even when they're losing, they're not losing because of like the pitchers gave up 15 runs and it was an absolute disaster area. Right now they're losing if their offense doesn't perform.
No, right? Yes, but even though and then that's going to happen now and then. It's baseball. You feel like even when their offense isn't performing, if they're close and it's late in the game, they got a shot. You really do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even today was 3-2. Because it was 3-1 for a while, then it became 3-2. You felt like there was a shot, and honestly, guys, that's all I was asking for this year. So right. It's great. It really is.
Well, listen. The second game, Martin Perez pitched. He didn't pitch great.
No, not.
Whatever. He gave up a couple runs early, and he actually lucked out with a couple of double plays. He got out of some trouble, which that's the thing about this guy, right? He has the confidence of a number like 2 or 3 starter, but he's actually like a number 5 starter.
Of course,
right? He's like, I want to be on the Red Sox, and he battles and everything else, but he's actually not that good. No. Right? I mean, when push comes to shove, he's actually not that great of a pitcher.
He's good enough to be a 4 or 5. I mean, especially. Right. I mean, right now I take him and Prevetta over Hawk.
Yeah. I mean, well, here's the thing, right? So, the Red Sox lose 5-1 in that game, the second game. But Kopech was on fire.
He pitched very well.
I mean, he had a man bun though.
It was something. It was he's got a man bun, and Arabu's got which I think you notice Arabu has like on his beard, he's got like a real tight little kind of bun. I just think like I guess fashion, whatever, but I just feel like especially your face hair, if you were pulling it that tight into like it would just like if someone like brushed,
give you a headache.
Like, it would hurt so much.
Yeah.
Like take a little bit of your beard and kind of go like that. That hurts. So like every time you're taking your shirt off, I don't get it, dude. I think that would be very painful.
I would think that having a man bun with a Major League Baseball hat on. All right, so Andy, look, right?
They don't have those. No,
I mean, they don't wear those, right? I mean, you can put a man bun through that thing. Right?
Was it under his hat or was it?
Yeah, it's like he was kind of like doing this type of thing,
So was he doing is he doing like the Alexander Hamilton where the bun's like down low, like he's talking to the Continental Congress, or is it one of those deals?
No, it wasn't that low. I mean, it was just kind of like sticking out. Which begs the question, because you see enough of these guys. That come out here and they have the long locks, right? Whatever, like Thor from the Mets, whatever, you see these guys who have the long hair. So what is the man bun? What's the rationale behind the man bun?
Maybe he doesn't want to get his eye. I mean, he got a hat. So I don't know. He likes his man bun. The guy throws like 97. I mean, hey.
All right. I don't know. All right.
I was impressed with, The second game, all the way through, I was impressed with the White Sox pitching. They had in the 5th inning, I want to say, that monster left-hander who had kind of had like a hitch in his pitch, who was just throwing absolute gas, who had a great off-speed pitch that was just Devers.
Listen, to your point, today was all about, well, actually the whole series, but like today was actually all about pitching. The White Sox pitched better. And guess what? The Red Sox pitching wasn't horrendous by any stretch of the imagination.
Okay.
I mean, it just wasn't. It wasn't that bad. But they got out pitched. You know? But, you know, to build on that, Christian Vasquez 0 for 15.
He's a dynamite catcher. He's a real good. I think he's a real good pitch caller. He's not Pudge Rodriguez. He's not
Molina, dude. I was watching highlights this morning. Woke up, had my breakfast, had my coffee. I was watching MLB Network, and first and foremost, the Cardinals with their powder blue uniforms like we used to watch in the 80s, right?
You like them?
I fucking love them.
I know.
All right. I think they're so sweet. And then they don't even say Cardinals. They say St. Louis, which I love. I love it when the away team wears the city.
I hate to give the Cardinals any kind of props. But I can tell you, speaking of powder blue, now that you say it, those hats, and I know there's a lot of controversy about the marathon uniforms. I love the hats. I think they're great looking. I can't find the hat anywhere online. It's not in the MLB store. It's not. I don't know where people are buying it.
All right, so you need to go to Dick's Sporting Goods in Dartmouth.
Yep,
they have them all there.
Yeah, they have.
I went there to buy my kid.
I can't get them online. It's 2021, dude. I want it brought to my house.
Dude, I'll grab one for you. Give me a size. No, seriously, hear me out. All right. So I was on the fence about these yellow and blue kind of uniforms or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I had to go get my son some gear for his new team, right? Because he was on all these teams that were always blue and red. My oldest son is on the Red Sox, Little League Red Sox. So he's got blue and red. My other son, blue and red. So now he's on the Emeralds. Right? So that's green as shit, right? So I'm like, all right, I gotta get him some green socks, some a green belt for his freaking for his pants, whatever. So we roll into Dick's, and they have, as soon as you walk in, there's the display of the marathon stuff, and like online, I was like, meh. I was like all grumpy. I was like, I don't like change, right? Yeah. I saw him in person, and I was like, dude, this shit is fresh, dude. I was like, word. So I bought my son a Bogarts t-shirt. It says number 2 on it, Bogarts. It says boss, dude. And they had hats everywhere. But my point is that everyone was flocking to it. So there you go. If anyone's wondering why they have these things, everyone was flocking to it. And people were trying shit on. It was falling off the shelves.
With the average age of your Major League Baseball fan, who literally, we are still young for the average age of your Major League Baseball fan.
Which is pathetic.
Pathetic. Anything that's going to get people thinking about buying Red Sox stuff, thinking about it, I'm okay with it, man. And I tell you, I like those hats. I'm going to get one. I'm going to go and get one. I think they're cool.
Yeah, head down to Dartmouth, dude. They got them. Well, they did. The hats are fresh, dude. And by the way, here's the other thing. We are acting like, we're like, oh, they like manipulated the colors, right? Like you couldn't go into Lids 10 years ago and they'd have all these alternative Red Sox hats, and they've been doing this for 20 years.
They sell camouflage Red Sox hats.
Yeah, I have one.
Yeah, so come on.
My dad was in the Army. He bought one. When he died, he gave it to me. Yeah, I got a camouflage Red Sox hat.
Vietnam? Died? Vietnam?
No, died from cancer.
Oh.
He didn't actually die in the war, but he.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be something exciting, like he was in it. I thought you were gonna tell me he was in like a camp for years with the Viet Cong. He took the hat, put it in his ass. That's where he hit it. 4 long years, like hat in my ass for you, Mark. I thought it was gonna be something good like that.
Hold on 1 second, Mark.
You decided to bring down the whole podcast with cancer talk.
Here's your hat, son. Oh,
it's all wet. It's all wet and gross. Put it on.
By the way, I'm glad that we're this close that we can joke about like my father putting a Red Sox hat up his ass.
Son, put it on. I don't want to. No, put it on. Let me cool. I don't want to.
Oh shit.
I do have a confession, kind of.
All right.
I'm really starting to become a Verdugo fan.
Yeah.
I like him. He is the kind of player who I would not like. I hate the hard because he's a super hardo, and that annoys me wicked.
The 99 chain, like
he and Bogarts does this too, which I noticed today, which kind of bummed me out. But I'm gonna let that go because I really like Bogarts. But Verdugo does this too. When you're at bat and you still have a glove in your pocket, a batting glove in your pocket, like you have both batting gloves on. You're at bat. Why is there a fucking batting glove in your back pocket, dude? You don't need that.
Andy, did you ever play with kids who did that? I played with kids who did that. I was like
I'm thinking of a specific human being right now, and my brother knows exactly who I'm talking about. I'm not gonna say his name because I know he's listening. Probably not. But I don't want word to get back to this kid. Okay, but hardo.
All right, there was this kid. So I went to Bishop Stang High School in Dartmouth, right? So we used to play Bishop Fian, and Bishop Fian was the the big daddy of the Catholic schools, and like in our area, they had the most money, they had the most funding. Like Greg Gagne, who used to play for the Twins,
yeah,
he like coached there. Like it was like oh, Bishop Fian, and this kid on Bishop Fian, we used to call him Mr. Baseball because he used to do all the things that Major League Baseball players used to do, but he was like a whatever. It started when we were freshmen, whatever. He was like 14, 15 years old. He'd have the extra batting glove in his damn pocket.
The worst.
He'd spit and be like, ah. He used to do the exaggerated crow hop when he was taking the
windmill with the arms,
like you're not doing ballet, dude. You're not doing ballet, but we used to call him, and we were all baseball guys. We loved baseball, and we used to call him Mr. Baseball because he blew everything.
Dude, the super dirty batting helmet too. I've noticed that, especially with like these guys. They're wearing the brand new Marathon blue helmets, and you already have pine tar all over it. It's like, come on, dude, you did that on purpose.
Oh, by the way, on the Remy report, this is a great moment here. On the Remy report, some guy was all fired up about. He's like, it's not pine tar. He's like, it's too uniform, and he's going off on. Everyone's like, dude, it's literally pine tar. And it to your point, like, yeah, like it's a hardo move to just like cake it on. But this guy was like, it's not pine tar.
One guy's helmet.
They're blocking the B. And this is a disgrace. They're blocking the B.
Is that because they hate America?
Dude, it's
do they support the Taliban?
Dude. Yeah, they're Taliban members. Okay, I don't know what to tell you, dude. I don't know what to tell you.
When they get the new helmets like that, do they get new helmets? They don't paint the ones they already have, right?
They get brand new ones.
because one of the guys, it looked like the blue was almost bleeding through, but it was kind of So no, they put that shit all over it, which is just annoying. As I was saying, Verdugo is Hidalgo, as I've always called him, because I still haven't really learned how to completely pronounce his name. But
you don't understand the Hispanic community.
It is what he annoys me. I mean, he's a ginger, first of all, which is like, ugh. But so it's, and then it's and he's such a hardo. It's got the glove out. And you know what, man? I gotta tell you, I used to think that like I was kind of an old school and I wanted this way. People who still wear the socks like way up with the I mean, it's come on, man. The design of the pants has gotten better since. It's like they're sweatpants. it's really not wearing.
But did you see the video of Verdugo talking to the fan when he was talking about hitting and the fan filmed it?
I heard about it. Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, I mean that was pretty cool. I mean that's
that's what I'm saying. He's really there's so much about him that I want to hate, and he really he's really winning me over. I think you're right. He really seems to be into the team. He seems to be into the fans, which is great. I like his approach at the plate. He doesn't care about. He's outspoken about saying how he doesn't give a shit about launch angle and stuff like that. He's about getting hits. You can tell there's times when he's got 2 strikes, he actually chokes up a little bit and tries to hit the ball to the opposite field, which is almost a sin these days.
Yeah.
So he does a lot of stuff I really like, man.
So is he actually old school?
He's got a little bit there, yeah.
He might be old school. He's talking about hitting with the fans.
No, I know.
He adjusts his approach to get hits.
I know. I don't need people to dress old school. I just need them to be it. You know what I mean? I just think it's.
Hey, by the way, speaking of dressing old school, because I thought about the high socks thing. Did you know that David Price is not a starting pitcher for the Los Angeles Dodgers?
I do remember that at the beginning of the year. Yeah, they put him in the bullpen. I think
he's in the bullpen.
I think that is a great move for him. I think that could extend his career another 4, maybe 5 years. I hate to say it because I again douchebag, but I hate to say it. He could have like a John Smoltz kind of resurgence as a reliever. I really believe that because listen, he always had a couple good innings. Every start, usually the first or second inning, he was very good. It was after he had like 35 pitches, and then it was all of a sudden it was the third inning, and then there was problems. You know what I mean? Yeah. No, that will be annoying, if he was a closer. If he ever became a closer, they're using him in like the 7th and 8th inning right now. If they used him as a closer, wow, that would be like you start the inning at like 11:15, solid.
Yep.
35 minutes. That'd be tough.
Yeah, that would be tough, and and that's the thing too. If he's a closer, I'm sure he'll be talking about, I approached it this way. Yeah, it's just like even his.
No, he'll have some kind of ritual like in the 7th inning where he has to go into like this like 6x3 black box that only has sounds of the ocean. You know what I mean? It'll be something like that. He can only smell dried frankincense, or just absolutely.
All right. Do we even talk about what happened this weekend? I don't even know. All right.
Yeah, we got there.
I think it was a good episode.
They're up there, down.
I think all our episodes are good, so I don't know.
Yeah, I never listened to them, so I assume it.
All right, Andy, you got anything else on this Red Sox team? I think I want to have a final thought here. I think we're going to come back to earth a little bit here.
That's fine. Yeah.
I don't think that this rotation, even though it hasn't even been that bad.
Sale's coming back. We got time. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, but that's not for a couple of months here. So, I mean, all right. let me couch this then. Do you think with the success that the Red Sox have had, and by the way, the Yankees are fucking awful right now.
Oh,
they are awful.
5-10.
Awful.
And they're losing in horrid fashion.
Yeah. Well, again,
they're losing. The Red Sox lost the first 3 games of the season. Forgetting how many guys are out, throwing the ball to the stands. I mean, so it's.
Well, again, and to our point earlier, right? When the Red Sox lose, they're not. It's not like it's like, oh, the Red Sox get demolished 10-5. It's like they lose like 3-2.
No. Listen, we weren't looking for World Series champions this year. We were looking for a reason to watch baseball, a reason not to hate the ball. And I said to you, after those first 3 games, I was like, I didn't know if I could do it for the whole year. I really didn't.
And have you been watching since?
I've been watching since. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
Because they're not hateable. They seem like good dudes. They seem to be working hard. I like the coach. I like Bogarts. You know what I mean? So there's definitely
I like Marwin Gonzalez somehow. I don't know. I like that guy.
Katie Martinez seems better this year. You know, he doesn't seem like this robot. So it's, God damn it. I like the stupid fucking shopping cart thing. I know.
I do too. I think it's fun. I think it's fun.
So listen, they're a representative team. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I don't think they're going to be in last place. Listen, it could come apart, but so far I'm good. I'm happy about it. I don't hate the fact that there's Red Sox to watch.
Yep, absolutely. I totally agree with you. All right. So another episode of Loaded on Lansdowne wrapped up, episode 95.
Getting towards the centennial.
Yeah. I'm your host, Mark Chikaris. Alongside me always is Andrew Andrews. And we'd like to thank everyone for being patient with us, for all this, COVID nonsense. And but we're back, baby. We are back, and we're gonna give you the content you need and deserve.
This is it. We've heard the fans, and we're back.
Absolutely. All right, and we will see you next week. Peace.
All right. Nice, man. 37
That was awesome, man. That was awesome.
No, we got fired up. Honestly, in the beginning, I was like, I don't know how we're gonna make this for a half an hour. In the beginning, we were kind of like,
Yeah, I was like, he went 4 for 2. Like I was like, I don't know how we're gonna.
No, but we worked into it. It was good.
Well, that's what we do. We get drunk and we talk. About Cool. I mean, right? I mean, that's what we do. This is our, thing.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
You don't have to be prepared. You just have to drink a lot. Talk about baseball. Yeah. All right. So listen, well, let's do another one this week. Possibly. We're on vacation, so we got nothing else.
Friday,
nothing else to do. Do one on Friday, possibly. And then, man, I'd like to return to your house. I mean, if that's cool.
No,
we'll do that.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, maybe for Friday. Let's shoot for that.
All right.
Cool.
All right. Love you, bro. Take care.
Man.